Captain Renna Val'set stood on the edge of the ravaged plateau, her violet skin bruised and burned from the explosion that had taken out half her squadron. Smoke curled in the thin air of Virex 9, a former mining planet turned war zone. Her lavender eyes, sharp as daggers, narrowed when the human dropped from the air transport, landing lightly behind her in a cloud of dust. "You're late," she growled, not looking back. "You're alive," the human replied. Commander Jace Rowan was everything she distrusted. Terran, soldier, and male. She had grown up hearing stories of how humans twisted treaties, broke promises, and walked away with the blood of their allies still warm on their hands. Her people, the Xentari, had paid dearly for trusting them in the last war. Now, orders from the Galactic Union had forced this joint mission. She hated it. Jace moved to her side, calm, composed, weapon slung lazily across his back. "We move now or not at all. There's movement in the east." She glanced at him, her eyes flickering with suspicion. "If you're planning to hand me over to the Kazan for a bounty, do it quickly. I'd rather be shot than betrayed slowly." He met her stare. "I don't betray people. Even when they expect me to." Chapter 2. The bunker below. They descended into the earth, where a hidden bunker held the last of the Xentari intelligence data, information critical to ending the conflict with the Kazan. Renna moved first, agile and alert, while Jace covered the rear. Inside, stale air and darkness wrapped around them like ghosts. Dust hung in golden beams of their shoulder lamps, and consoles flickered with dying power. Renna reached for the core drive, her hand hesitating. "It's booby-trapped," she murmured. Jace stepped forward, analyzing the interface. "A fusion sensor. You pull that wrong, it'll light up like a sun." He didn't wait for her approval. He knelt and started working. Renna's heart pounded, not from fear of the trap, but from the uncomfortable realization that she was depending on him. The core released with a click. He handed it to her. "Ladies first." She stared at him a beat longer than necessary before taking it. Chapter 3. Trapped. As they climbed back to the surface, an explosion rocked the tunnel. The exit caved in behind them. Renna cursed in Xentari, her blade drawn instinctively. That wasn't random. Jace was already scanning the shadows. They were waiting. They knew we were coming. "You said this route was clear," she accused. His jaw tightened. "It was. I checked it myself." A high-pitched shriek cut him off. Kazan assassins poured through a secondary tunnel. Dozens of them, mantis-like, their exoskeletons gleaming. "Fight or run?" he asked. "Fight," she said. They moved as one. Blades clanged against chitin. Plasma fire lit the cave walls. Renna was a blur of violet and silver. Jace a cyclone of calculated strikes and sharp shots. Back to back, they held the line. After what felt like an hour, silence fell. Corpses littered the tunnel floor. Renna leaned against the wall, panting, bleeding from a cut on her leg. "You could have left me," she said between breaths. "I could have," Jace agreed. "But I didn't." Chapter 4. The Cold Night. They camped in the remnants of an old mining shed above the plateau. Wind howled outside, carrying sand like razors. Renna wrapped her arm around her wound. Jace handed her a heated blanket and a medkit. "You know how to use this?" he asked. "I'm not helpless." "Didn't say you were." They sat across the fire from each other, silence lingering like an old wound. Eventually, she spoke. "You humans. You think honor means keeping your word only when it's convenient." Jace didn't flinch. "And you Xentari think loyalty is earned in blood. That no one can be trusted unless they've died for you. Maybe that's because we've had to watch our allies walk away too many times. I've lost good men too, Renna. I'm not here for medals or politics. I'm here because I was ordered to, sure, but I stayed because you're worth fighting beside. She looked at him long and hard. You're not what I expected. Chapter 5. The Betrayal That Wasn't. The next morning, they reached the extraction point. The skies above rumbled with the sound of descending ships. But something was wrong. Renna's communicator buzzed. Captain Val'set, this is General Zoro. Intel confirms. Your human companion is not who he claims to be. He's flagged by 3 sectors for espionage. Detain him immediately. She froze. Her blood turned to ice. Her eyes lifted to Jace, who was looking at her curiously. What is it? She aimed her plasma pistol at him. They say you're a spy. His expression didn't change. Of course they do. What does that mean? It means the people who don't want this war to end will do anything to stop us from handing that drive over. Even label their own as traitors. Prove it, she said. He slowly reached into his armor, pulled out a small, sealed vial. This contains encryption keys that match the data on your core. No spy would risk handing over both. She hesitated. Her instinct screamed not to trust, but her gut said otherwise. She had fought beside him, bled beside him. She had seen the look in his eyes when he thought she might die. She lowered her weapon. Then we go together. Chapter 6. Loyalty in Action. Aboard the extraction ship, they were surrounded by Union guards, some friendly, some not. Renna felt their stares like knives. Word had spread fast. Human. Xentari. Both carrying the fate of the war on a chip. Jace kept silent as they were led to the command center. But she could feel his tension, his loyalty straining under suspicion. Inside, General Zoro stood in his formal armor, arms crossed. The core and the vial were taken from them. We'll verify the data. But the human will be held until then. No, Renna said. Zoro's brow rose. Excuse me. If you hold him, you're confirming the enemy's narrative. We fought for this. Together. Zoro's eyes narrowed. You're willing to put your faith in a human. One who could cost your people everything. She stepped closer to Jace. He already risked everything for me. Chapter 7. Redemption. The data was real. Not only did it hold battle plans, but it also revealed traitors within the Union. Jace's name was cleared, but only barely. Still, politics had long memories, and Zoro wasn't pleased. They were given clearance to leave the station. Alone. Renna and Jace walked to the edge of the docking bay, where a lone cruiser awaited. So, what now? He asked. I return home. Maybe get a medal. Maybe get court-martialed for trusting you. He smirked. And me. Whatever you want, Commander. He looked at her for a long time. Then I go with you. She blinked. What? You trusted me when you had every reason not to. That kind of trust, loyalty, it deserves to be returned. She studied him for a heartbeat, then another. Then let's see where loyalty leads us. Chapter 8. A Different Future. Months later, the war ended, not with fire, but with peace. Renna Val'set became a hero, not for killing, but for believing. She stood before the Union Council, with Jace beside her, both recognized as living proof that trust was possible between former enemies. The Xentari and humans signed their first joint treaty in over a decade. Later, under a sky of twin moons, Jace found her staring at the stars. You ever think, he said, stepping beside her, about what would have happened if you'd pulled that trigger?